Let me introduce myself a little bit. I was born in USSR and raised in Russian Federation, and now I'm living in the US. I'm not Russian, but I was born and raised in Russian Federation in small Republic of Russia. So I know the culture of Russian people's mentality and style of thinking. So let me talk today about politics. Let's go. Today is Sunday, February 9, and we got very important international news. Donald Trump, President of United States, had very important phone conversation with President of Russian Federation Vladimir Putin. Trump says that he has spoken with Vladimir Putin about ending the Ukrainian war. Kremlin didn't comment yet about this phone call. Please listen this video, the short interview with Vladimir Putin.
Signing of the documents. This is a very serious issue that should guarantee the security of both Ukraine, by the way, and Russia for a serious long-term historical perspective. And there cannot be a single mistake, not a single rough spot. Everything must be in strict accordance with the Constitution of Ukraine. The President of Ukraine, even under martial law, does not have the right to extend his powers. Only the representative body of power, only the Ukraine's parliament, that is, the country's parliament, has the right to extend its powers. And the President has only a 5-year term. That's it, nothing more. Then his powers are...
The interview is not short. I just played short version of the interview with translation, with English translation. Basically, Vladimir Putin saying that he and his administration were always open to conversation with American leaders, but nobody contacted him even before war, and now he's super ready to talk with Donald Trump. Also, he said during this interview, he actually mentioned that if Trump were president, this war never happened. And this statement Trump said many times when he became president and before as well. In addition, Putin added that he was always in good relationship with Donald Trump, and he admired his politics and his view, and he considering him a very strong leader, and he thinks they're going to solve this conflict together. And also Putin highlighted that he and his administration have preferences that need to be established. So without those preferences, he's not going basically sign the deal. But again, he said he's ready to finish it. Putin also highlighted in his interview that he's concerning about this deal and meeting regarding the fact that he is considering that Zelensky is illegitimate president of Ukraine. Zelensky also expressed his personal opinion during his very bright interview with very famous YouTuber Lex Friedman. He also highlighted and emphasized that he is ready to talk and make a deal, but he also has preferences, as Putin has.
Ukraine independence. To prevent Ukraine from developing as an independent country, for him, influence on Ukraine cannot be lost. And for him it is, I think for him, this is such a goal, and this last mile, and certainly for him, the last mile and of his political life. And I think that this is the goal for him. The second story, I do not want to talk about these banalities, that he wants to return all the territories of the Soviet Union, influence over them. He does this little by little. I just don't want to, people need to know detail. For example, Georgia, which was headed towards the EU and NATO, completely turns towards Russia, regardless of the fact that they have frozen conflicts. They have in Abkhazia what we have with Donbass, which is controlled by militant rebels. Abkhazia is not developing, it's just a very beautiful part of Georgia. That has died. And if you have the opportunity, then go there someday. You will understand it simply died because Putin wanted to. He wanted not to allow them to develop because a frozen conflict means that you will not be accepted in the EU and certainly will not be accepted into NATO because
basically President Zelensky is saying that Putin doesn't want to see Ukraine as independent country. In addition, he is against that Ukraine might be part of NATO. And Zelensky talks about Georgia as example. Trump wants to stop this war between Ukraine and Russia. He said, "I'm not looking to hurt Russia. I love the Russian people and always had very good relationship with Putin. All of that being said, I'm going to do Russia, whose economy is failing, and President Putin very big favor." Trump highlighted many times in his speeches that he wants to stop this ridiculous war. It is only going to get worse, he said. Then Trump added, "It is time to make a deal. No more lives should be lost."
People are being shot in the battlefield.
Will there be then a peace agreement with Ukraine and Russia by then?
Well, you're going to have to ask Russia. Ukraine is ready to make a deal. Just so you understand, this is a war that should have never started. If I were president, it would never have started. This is a war that should have never, ever been started. And it wasn't started during there was never even talk about it. I knew that it was the apple of President Putin's eye, but I also knew that there was no way he was going in, and he wasn't going to go in. And then when I was out, bad things happened, bad things were said, a lot of stupidity all around, and you end up with what you have. Now you have all these bombed out cities that look like demolition sites with many people killed. I think the thing that you'll see about Ukraine is that far more people have died than is being reported. And I've seen that. But far more people have died. When you look at a city that's become a demolition site, we're big by that. If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately. Right now, the price is high enough that war will continue. You got to bring down the oil price. You got to end that war.
I hope that this terrible conflict situation of war between Ukraine and Russia will end in 2025. I believe that Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin and Mr. Zelensky will find solution and make a deal, because nobody deserve this terrible situation, and people are dying even right now, and it is very sad that this war is happening in 21st century. I would like to know your opinion about this situation, and please leave comments and like the video and subscribe. Stay tuned and see you soon.